Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing? Yeah, go ahead. Come on, take a seat in the back right there. I know some of you guys are still just getting here. So today we're going to be talking about God's sovereignty and professional ambition and how those two things work together. So how many of you guys have spent more than 6 months looking for a job? Show of hands. Market's tough. Okay, how about a year? Show of hands. Okay, we still got a couple of hands. Jason, I see your hands up. How many months did you spend looking for the job that you have now? Or applying for jobs till you found the one that you have now? Wow. Okay, yeah, 15 months. Almost a year and a half. That's quite a long time. So, I actually have a pretty similar situation myself. I was in car sales for about a year and a half, and I wasn't very happy with it. I didn't like the job. The hours were long. It was very high demand. And I just wasn't happy with the way that it took away from my church attendance either. So I spent almost that entire time that I worked for this job trying to find other jobs. I was applying different places, submitting resumes, even going to job fairs. I thought, God, there's no way that you want me to be in this job that takes me away from church and away from being part of the body. And mostly, in reality, I just wanted a job that made me happier. I didn't really want God's will as much as I told myself and told God that I did. So I just kept going and seeking all these other jobs. It was an idol in my life, actually. It was my obsession. I thought about it night and day, like, I've just got to get another job. And so, have you ever been there where you just nail that interview and you have such good chemistry with the hiring manager and you think, wow, I must get this job? I had that multiple times where I thought, this is a sure thing, this is my ticket out of here, I've got this. And then sure enough, they wouldn't call, or they would call and say, yeah, we're not going to take you, we're going to go in a different direction. In fact, I even once had a job where I went to a first interview, got really positive feedback. They called me the same day, scheduled a second interview, and then right before I was supposed to go to the second interview that next week, they called me the day before and canceled. And they said, never mind, we don't want you to come to this interview. We're done, thanks. Wait, what? I'm sorry, do you know why? No, I was just told to call you and say that we don't want you for the second interview. Okay, that's fine. All right. So I was a little stunned by all of these different situations like that, where it was just weird stuff, that it seemed like God was just purposefully blocking me from getting into a position that I wanted to be in. So after about a solid year and a half of submitting resumes and applications and doing all of these things and follow-ups and trying to network and spending hours fixing my LinkedIn profile and making it look perfect, which, on a side note, I would recommend using LinkedIn. It actually is a very good resource. But not in an idolatrous way. So, after that year and a half of scrounging for other jobs, trying to get into something different, I finally just sat back and I said, okay, God, you will move me out of this position whenever you feel that is best, and I will just sit and I will wait for your timing. So, not immediately after that, but right near that point, God actually brought to my attention a job opening in another department in the same store where I was working and where I currently work at Mini of Valencia. And I thought, this is it. God has rewarded my contentment and He has rewarded my obedience, and this is my ticket out. This is when I'm finally going to get that new position that I've been looking for so long. And I went to my boss and I said, boss, I want this position. And he said, no. We don't want you in that position. Ooh, man, that was kind of a shocker. So I thought, God, I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was going to be the thing where you worked things out and it was all miraculous and then we go home happy. And well, it wasn't. So once again, God is full of surprises, and He taught me, no, you have to really, really be content. So I said, okay. This wasn't from you, this isn't what you wanted, and I accept that, that's fine. So about a month after that point, my boss comes back and he says, hey, do you still want this position? I said, yes, absolutely I do. I do, very much so. So I went through the processes, and I ended up getting hired in that position. That's where I'm working now. I love it. I'm very happy. Hours are great. I'm very involved in my church. And overall, it's just a much better situation. So it was a combination of me still pursuing that job, but in God's timing, and not in the way that I wanted to do it in my own timing for my own desires. So in conclusion, submit yourself to God and your desires to Him, and He will give you the desires of your heart, and He will work things out in His own timing. So continue to pursue the job that you want, but in God's timing. And He'll work it out the way that He sees fit. And it's always best. Thanks, guys.